Hey guys, it's Adrienne for WDW Bound, and today we're talking about different rides that we feel like are safe to ride during this initial phase of reopening of the Walt Disney World resort parks. So what we found to believe to be safe, and I keep putting that in quotation marks because I don't want to get called out by anybody. You said I was going to be safe and then such and such happened. Anyway, but, Disney has put out in a lot of their information that there is, of course, an inherent risk to attending one of their theme parks. And if you are in a high-risk population, greater than 65, you have underlying conditions, things like that, that you should probably avoid their theme parks for the time being. However, the research kind of indicates that outdoor activities are safer than indoor activities. And so we here at WDW Bound have put together a list of attractions in Walt Disney World from the attraction list that Disney put out of attractions that will be open that follow these guidelines. They either have mostly outdoor queues and or are outdoor attractions. So there's a pretty big list actually. And then we'll kind of talk about some caveats and some different things that you might want to, take into consideration before you ride any of these rides or ride additional rides, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But a park, probably to nobody's surprise, that has the most attractions that would meet either of these criteria is Magic Kingdom. So if you're walking into Magic Kingdom, we're gonna go by the lands and talk about each one and how the ride system works so that you'll see why we consider it to be one of the safer options. So if we're heading down Main Street and take a right and head in towards Tomorrowland, the first attraction we're going to talk about is the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover. Sorry, that's such a mouthful. If you don't know anything about this attraction, it is an omni mover, which means people are constantly loading and unloading, and it takes you kind of around Tomorrowland. So you see backstage of Space Mountain and Buzz's light. Oh my God, why can't I get that word out? Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin. There we go. Now I got it. And you kind of see the back, and it's mostly outdoors. Also, the line to get into it is just up a little ramp. You load onto the attraction, which has an independent ride vehicle, meaning you won't be seated with or next to other people. And then it takes you around. There's a little bit of an indoor part where you kind of go through a tunnel when you're looking through Space Mountain and other things like that. But because it is both open air at the beginning and the end, then we consider it to be one of the safer options. Also in Tomorrowland, we need to talk about Tomorrowland Speedway. Not one of my favorite rides. And this is probably the only time it will be on you might want to ride this list. But if you're unfamiliar with Tomorrowland Speedway, it has cars that you kind of are in charge of. You don't steer them, but you're in an open air vehicle, you and one other person, and then you ride around the track. The line again for this is outdoor, and with social and physical distancing put into place, it will also be one of the safer options. The other one in Tomorrowland that we want to talk about is Astro Orbiter, which is Dumbo on stilts, essentially. You're in a rocket ship, again, you and one other person. The line is all outdoors with the exception of the elevator that you have to ride to go up. But again, putting into place, assuming that Disney will be allowing one group at a time or, making allowances for distancing from other people, then again, that should be one of your more safer options. Fantasyland. Mad Tea Party topped our list at Fantasyland. Again, outdoor queue, you are in an outdoor attraction in your little teacup with your party only. And, if you want to spin really fast and puke your guts out, you're more than welcome to. Just keep your secretions to yourself. Dumbo, for the same reasons that we said for Astro Orbiter, mostly outdoor queue. There is the indoor play area. Our assumption is that play area will be closed. And then you will board the outdoor attraction. Barnstormer, also on the list. Outdoor queue, very short line. It is an outdoor coaster, kiddie coaster. If you don't know, it's a great introductory coaster if your kids have never ridden one before. And again, our assumption is going to be that they're going to put empty cars in between each other or empty seating areas between each other to allow for that physical distancing. Seven Dwarf Mine Train, same thing. There is an indoor section of that one as well. However, mostly outdoors. The queue is mostly outdoors with the exception of when you kind of start to head inside towards the front of the line. So you can make that decision for yourself. Prince Charming's Regal Carousel. It's a carousel, you know? It's never got a line anyway. But if you do, it's outdoors, and then it's the carousel. So it's outdoors as well. Now, heading more into Liberty Square, really you've only got the Liberty Square riverboat that meets these criteria. Frontierland, Splash Mountain. The only thing I'll say about, no, Splash Mountain is fine. Again, it's a large ride vehicle. However, again, putting empty rows in between parties should be fine. But the other one I was going to mention was Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. That one, again, is mostly an outdoor queue. It's covered at times. It's an outdoor attraction. However, I'm very curious to see how Disney handles once you do start headed down into the mine. That gets very crowded very quickly. It has 2 alternating lines, and it always just feels very packed and cramped to me. So I'm curious to see how that will go. However, for the purpose of this and making the assumptions of what Disney will be doing, then we feel like it goes into the mostly safe list. Adventureland, Magic Carpets of Aladdin, your third Dumbo type attraction on this list. Again, outdoor queue, you're up in the air, you're going to be in an individual ride vehicle, should be fine and dandy. Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise has an outdoor queue. You're on an open air boat. So depending on how they decide to seat people, I'm kind of just going to go out on a limb and say that they'll probably seat people in the same way that they have been on the boats. If you, not the boats, the buses, if you've been paying any attention to kind of how they're handling the transportation system right now, and that they'll have marked off spaces for particular parties and party sizes, and then have spacing in between. Let's see. The last one on the Magic Kingdom list that we put was the Swiss Family Treehouse. I'm going to just say this. I've never done this before. From my understanding, you just kind of walk up some stairs and like you get a nice bird's eye view of things, but I've never done it. But I do know it's outdoors in a big giant treehouse, so it seemed like it would fit this list. All right, so that's all for Magic Kingdom. Hollywood Studios really only had 2 that we found would meet the criteria of both an outdoor ride vehicle and mostly outdoor queue. And that's Alien Swirling Saucers in Toy Story Land, and also Slinky Dog Dash in Toy Story Land. Toy Story Land in general is just a very open air section. So the only one that we don't necessarily recommend in the safest of the safe list is Toy Story Mania, because you do wander into an indoor attraction, indoor queue. Animal Kingdom has the Affections section, which I never say right either. But you know, it's just an outdoor kind of kiddie area, so you get to pet animals outdoors. The Discovery Island trails, in addition to a lot of the other trails, like the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trails, Maharaja Jungle Trek, those all they'll be outdoors. You know, keep your distance from other people and you'll be fine. Expedition Everest, one of our favorite attractions, probably my favorite roller coaster in all of Walt Disney World, has a mostly outdoor queue, and again, it's an outdoor attraction. How many times can I say outdoor in this video, by the way? Like, I feel like it should be a drinking game at some point. In Animal Kingdom, we also have Cali River Rapids. Large outdoor boat, you're gonna get wet. It's a water ride, so that'll be interesting if that's something that you want to do. Kilimanjaro Safaris. I saw a video just today from the cast member previews that showed that they would have plexiglass in between the rows, so it will physically distance you from other parties. And finally, Triceratops Spin, which is the 4th Dumbo type attraction on this list. It's located in Dinerland, USA in Animal Kingdom. And again, outdoor queue, outdoor ride, individual ride vehicle, and you know, completely outdoors. You'll be in the wind. It'll be fun. Now, interestingly enough, Epcot has nothing that fits these criteria. Granted, Epcot is a different kind of park. It is a theme park. It does have rides, but that's not usually the complete and total focus of Epcot. So none of the Epcot attractions met the outdoor queue, outdoor attraction criteria. Now, I did say that we wanted to mention some rides that might meet the criteria in other ways. We wanted to include rides that were individual ride vehicles, meaning only you and your party will be in the actual ride vehicle, as opposed to something like Pirates of the Caribbean or Frozen Ever After, where you're in a big boat all together. So maybe it's a little bit of an indoor queue or a little bit of an indoor attraction. However, you'll be in your own individual ride vehicle. So we wanted to include these attractions so that you can make that decision based on your own level of risk. In Magic Kingdom, I mentioned it before, but Buzz seriously cannot say this word, Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. Mostly outdoor queue. There is a good section that's indoors. However, it is a omni mover, like we said with the people mover. So people are continuously on and off loading. How that will work for cleaning, I'm not sure, but it'll be just you and your party in that ride vehicle. Also, Magic Kingdom Haunted Mansion, my understanding again from these cast member previews is that they have taken out the stretching room, so you're just going to kind of walk right through, and so you will not be crowded with other people. Walking straight onto another omni mover type attraction where you will again be seated only with your party. The other one that we want to mention in Magic Kingdom is the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Again, it fits those exact same criteria. It is an indoor attraction, however, you will be in your own ride vehicle with just your party. In Hollywood Studios, we added to the list Toy Story Mania. Same thing. You'll be in your own individual ride vehicle, even though you will spend part of the time in an indoor queue and an indoor attraction. Animal Kingdom has nothing to add to that list, and Epcot has Spaceship Earth, completely outdoor queue, and it is another omni mover, so I'm not sure if it's even open right now. They always talk about it being down for construction, but I don't know if those plans have been scrapped. So put a little asterisk next to that one. And then the Seas with Nemo and Friends. It does have a partially indoor queue. It's another omni mover, so it should be fun. And again, I know that there are some that meet these criteria, but they were not on the list of attractions that Disney has said will be open during this first phase of reopening. All right, now, conversely, if you are looking to see what rides you need to avoid because you don't feel safe or comfortable riding these rides, then here's a list of ones that I would personally not feel safe or comfortable on because of the fact that they are either multi-family, multi-party ride vehicles, indoor queues, or indoor attractions. So these rides that I'm about to list meet none of the previous criteria that we already talked about. So in Magic Kingdom, we're talking about Country Bear Jamboree, Mickey's PhilharMagic, Pirates of the Caribbean, Hall of Presidents. In Hollywood Studios, I would say Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Muppet Vision 3D, Rock and Roller Coaster, Star Tours, Twilight Zone, Tower of Terror. In Animal Kingdom, Avatar Flight of Passage, which kills me because it's my favorite ride. I love it so much. And in Epcot, and also Dinosaur in Animal Kingdom. And then in Epcot, Frozen Ever After, the Grand Fiesta Tour. It's a boat, and it's indoors, and it's an indoor queue, and it's all within that Mexico pavilion. So it's pretty iffy. I wouldn't feel like that one at all. Journey into Imagination with Figment, Living with the Land, Mission Space, Soarin', Test Track, Turtle Talk with Crush, Canada Far and Wide, Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival, Impressions de France, Reflections of China, and The American Adventure. So a lot of those that I just said that I would probably avoid are shows. Obviously, again, I feel confident that Disney is going to be putting physical barriers in between people, physical distancing, leave so many chairs open between parties, whatever. However, it's just not something that I'm willing to risk at this point. You can, again, measure your own risk level and your own comfort level for some of those attractions that I just named. Now, some that I didn't mention at all that I am particularly very interested in seeing how they're going to run things. For example, our Smuggler's Run in Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios. I'm very curious to see how that will work because it almost meets the criteria. It is a mostly outdoor queue. You do go inside a little bit, but it's very big and open air, and it feels outdoors even when it's not outdoors for the most part. It does get a little bit more cramped as you go in. And but the ride vehicle itself is self-contained. So you're indoors with a group of 6. So if you're not a party of 6, I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to work, because if it was just my husband and I going, then that's just 2 of us. And I have been told, I've been doing a little bit of research, and I have been told that several of that those attractions will run on autopilot, or maybe not autopilot, because if it's just me and my husband, I really want to be pilot. But like the engineer and the gunners would be run automatically, so that they wouldn't need an actual physical person in the ride vehicle to make the attraction work. Kind of like Mission Space, but I don't think that's on the list of things that are opening. Anything else that's going to be, multi-person, like Tower of Terror and Star Tours, those sorts of things. I'm interested to see how that's going to work and how they're going to distance people, but we'll just see that as the park opens. So basically what I just want to get across is that I am beyond excited that Walt Disney World is going to be open again. I can't wait. I'm recording this on June 7th. It opens officially on July. I'm recording this on July 7th, and the parks officially open on July 11th. The first 2 parks, and Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, and then a couple of days later we get Epcot and Hollywood Studios. And I'm really excited. I'm so glad that Walt Disney World is going to be back open, and that I'm going to get to start seeing pictures of happy people and happy families in my social media feeds again, and all the fantastic Disney food that's down there, all the things that I miss when I'm not there. I'm so thrilled that they're going to be back open, and I'm so glad that they are putting all of these specific measures into place. And I just want everyone that goes to be happy and have a wonderful, magical time within the parameters that we're given right now at this kind of strange time in all of our lives. And I want to give the information to you guys that you might be interested in, to see what you could do to make your trips more safe and more fun, and give you a little bit less worry and anxiety when you're going down there. So I hope that you are all safe and happy and healthy, and I thank you so much for watching. If you've liked what you've seen today, please make sure that you like and subscribe. Leave us a comment, tell us what you're thinking, where your head's at with all these things, and we will see y'all next time. Bye.